What is up, everybody? Welcome back to From the Crypt, where we discuss, and when I say we, I mean Derek and I, of course, even though he looks like he's constipated and about to have a hernia. Or shit his pants, one of the two.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was rough.
We talk about movies and music and all kinds of stuff in the entertainment world. We just we go for it and have some fun with it. Usually we do some top tens. Sometimes we'll talk about whole movie franchises, sometimes very specific movies, sometimes specific bands. But for now, Derek, how you been? What you been up to? What you been listening to? What you been playing? All that kind of shit.
I've got a crazy head rush right now.
He held his breath too hard.
No, Helldivers. Been playing that. The new War Bond came out, and the Eruptor is awesome, and the grenade pistol is a lot of fun, especially considering it's bugged right now.
I literally was playing with Toby last night, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to get the premium, because I want that grenade pistol so bad. And I bought the other premium War Bond on accident, so now I have both of them. Because I went ahead and said, fuck it, I'm just going to get the other one now, too.
Hey, there you go.
Even though there really wasn't anything on the other one that I wanted, or that I couldn't live without anyway. So I said, fuck it, I'm just going to get both of them, and I went ahead and got it. So now I'm just building up the medals to unlock it, and go from there.
Yeah, I hopped on a little bit yesterday, just throughout the day, was playing on the Portal, which is it's a little bit rough because the touchpad, in order to access it, you've got to like touch the screen and then double tap these little squares that are in there. So it makes pulling up your map more of a pain in the ass. But as long as you just blindly follow somebody, that's not really a problem. Been loving the DualSense Edge, though, for it. Like, God, that controller is so freaking good. And
Nice.
Sony did just an absolutely fantastic job, which, as you know, I'm not really a big Sony fanboy or anything. So I will give credit where credit is due. However, that DualSense Edge is freaking nice.
Nice. Hell yeah.
And music-wise, Kill Switch still.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, Karen and I are going to be doing our top 10. So, going through Kill Switch right now.
Dude, you just need to have Karen on From the Crypt with us, and we can all do a top 10 for Kill Switch. Dude, I'm here for that shit, dude.
Oh my God.
Have a Karen cameo, man.
Uh,
I know that sounds thrilling to you, but
I would just be stressed out, and I know she would say something that would make me look stupid, and no. Just no. Right out of the gate. Hard
Dude,
no on that.
I watched y'all's video the other day of the snack box or whatever from
Which one?
It was like it's the most recent one.
Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah. Dude, this fucking wasabi chip things,
Dude.
or whatever.
Those things were freaking lit, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie about that. They were fucking good.
The first half of the video, I was like, Derek, you look like you're ready to kill. You do not want to fucking be here right now. And then those wasabi chips hit, and you're like a whole different person. It was great.
Oh God. Well, there was a holiday box and then a box from France. Watch that one. I was not thrilled with those boxes at all.
Oh damn.
Or what are truffles? I think is what it is. Just dog poop. That's literally what it is. It is dog poop.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, I was giggling along to that video the other day. I thought it was pretty funny. I was just winding down and scrolling through YouTube, and I couldn't find anything I wanted to watch, and then I seen the thumbnail pop up, and I'm like, oh shit, Karen put out a video with Derek and Jacob. I'm gonna watch it out, or check that out. And I was just like sitting on the couch, like giggling the whole fucking time, dude. It's awesome. But yeah, no, it's funny. But
no, what have you been playing besides Helldivers and Return to Moria? And,
That's about it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I haven't really played a whole lot of WoW. I actually missed, I missed the fucking raid last night because well, one, I spaced that it was even Saturday. I was like, holy shit, it's Saturday, and it's like past 10 o'clock now, so they're probably done with the raid or halfway through it. So I didn't even touch that. Luckily, they didn't progress. They actually failed. We're on the last boss of the raid, so he's tough. He's kind of pushing our shit in right now, and
Yeah.
but I didn't miss it, so that's cool because I didn't actually get past him, so that's cool. I can definitely be there next week. But other than that, yeah, just honestly, most of what I've been playing is Return to Moria, and I've been play testing a game, specifically a game that I cannot release any details for just yet because it's a game that I'm working on, which is pretty fun because it's like a landslide past what it was a month ago, which is phenomenal. But yeah, Hovey sent me a playtest build of it, and I was like, holy shit, dude, we have a fucking game. This is nuts. We've got like fucking working enemies now. We've got working like animations and shit. The background's looking great. And then like a couple days later, we scrapped all of it, and well, we didn't scrap it, but we like replaced all of the assets for it. So it's all like, it looks a lot more cohesive because a lot of the stuff we were using was just placeholder shit and just stuff that I had just whipped together really fast. But after discovering a thing that I could do that I learned how to do, I was like, oh shit, I'm just gonna do this for all of the stuff we already did. And Hovey's like, oh yeah, I can just plug all that shit into where the other stuff was, no problem. And it looks so much better. But
hell yeah.
so that's fun. And as far as listening goes, I've been listening to a lot of Darko US lately. And yeah, dude, just getting in the fucking feels because they got some emotional shit in their stuff, and I love it. It's good stuff. And for anybody that doesn't know, Darko US is the lead singer of Chelsea Grin and another person, I'm blanking on his name right now, but just those two. They split off and did their own thing, and they're killing it. They're killing it. They're doing really good, and love to see it. So
yeah,
but it's pretty good stuff. And then yeah, I haven't really been listening to a whole lot of other stuff. Greyhaven just put out an EP, which is cool to see. However, as you and I both know, the fact that they have an EP out makes me worry for the top 10 albums of the year video we're going to put out in a couple months. Because I can't use it.
I think we're going to it's going to be a top 5, just like last year. Like, I mean, shit.
Yeah. Or a top 5, yeah, you know what I mean. But like,
yeah,
it's an EP.
I would love to do a top 10 of legit great albums, but like nothing is like really jumping out at me. Like Judas Priest was good, but it's not like album of the year category.
Yeah.
I did like the Sum 41 double album. There's I listened to Project Regeneration Volume 2 today. It was all right. But yeah, nothing like great, nothing mind-blowing. Been very lackluster. Like that's all I got.
We might have to end up allowing ourselves to put EPs in there because there's not a whole lot of fucking albums coming out. It's nuts, man.
That's the freaking truth.
So I don't know, but hopefully the EP was just kind of a little taste, and they'll release a full-length album before the year is up, because I have a feeling it'll be really good, because the EP was great. I loved it. Greyhaven's doing some cool shit. I'm glad they finally put one out. I think their last one was like 2021, 2022 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really listen to Greyhaven. I actually didn't know who they were until we went and seen them in concert, and I was like, oh shit, dude, these guys are killing it, dude. But
dude, I'm legit going through here and looking, like, and keep in mind, some metal stuff won't be on this list because generally I have to look up a separate list for it. Green Day put out an album. I'm eventually going to check that out. Looking through here, it's not a lot of stuff that I care about. Static X, Project Regeneration Volume 2, that's basically it from just January. And then February is looking like freaking dog poop. seriously, I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah.
That's just the story of this year.
And last year.
Yeah. Oh, Austrian Death Machine put out Quad Brutal in February, so at least there's something there. But yeah, it. I'm not even gonna bother looking through March because I found albums just from those 2 months. That's it. And when I was going through for our other video project of our top 10 favorite albums of the years of the 2000s, there were many years that I was like, okay, the next one in 2005, spoiler alert. My top seven was number one at one point in time throughout 2005 and now. That's how crazy this was. And many of these albums, because I started just automatically putting release dates with them, they released on the same day a lot of the time, or the same month. We're not getting it
Yeah.
at all now. It sucks. But I've babbled on for a while because this isn't our music episode. What are we talking about today, Jacob?
Today we're going to be discussing a little known franchise. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. Probably haven't because it's such an obscure, tiny little title. Alien. The Alien franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. It was kind of a weird refresher because I had seen a couple of them. I know I had seen the first one years and years and years ago, but I didn't remember shit about it. The second one I don't think I had ever seen. And then any of the other ones I know I hadn't seen other than Prometheus, and I seen Prometheus in theaters, but at the time I didn't know shit about aliens, so I didn't really connect the two at the time because I didn't know anything about the franchise. I just seen the trailer and was like, "Oh, that looks cool," and I went to see it. That was it. I think I went with my girlfriend or something like that at the time.
Watching
And
Prometheus, like to start, that is the right way in the timeline to watch it. So at least you started off
yeah,
right.
yeah. And now, like going back and watching them proper this time was a little interesting and not quite what I expected to get from it, to be honest with you. Many good things, of course. Obviously, they're really good for a reason, or they're really well sought after for a reason, but also some not so good things that I'm sure we will discuss here in this video.
Just like any franchise, this has its peaks, and I mean, it's got some tall peaks, but holy shit, does it have some low valleys too.
Yeah. Some might even say trenches.
Yeah, or just straight pools of literal human shit.
Yep, liquid human feces, yeah.
Yeah. Before we really start talking, were we doing a ranking of them as well at the very end?
I didn't make a ranking, but I could probably rank them, honestly.
I was gonna say I know I've got a ranking somewhere of them already on my phone, so I could just pull that up because I actually did just my nerdery fun. I ranked the Alien and Predator movies all together in one big list, so I've already got it. I'll just obviously exclude the Predator films. Before we dive super in depth, I wanted to talk about the timeline of Alien, just to point a little bit of stuff out so that way people know beforehand, because this franchise does jump around a little bit. So at the very start is it's called TED 2023, which was the Peter Whalen files. It was basically a short film that I think was on the Prometheus Blu-ray. And then there's an Alien TV series that's in the making right now. Know nothing about that. Then we've got Prometheus, then Alien Covenant. Cannot wait to talk about Alien Covenant 2, by the way. Then the original Alien. Then this timeline does have video games in it, so we'll just blow through these. And then after Alien Isolation, Then there's a comic book or a novel, Alien Out of the Shadows. Alien Romulus, which is going to be coming out this August. We're going to talk about that too. Then Aliens. Then Aliens Colonial Marines, which, if I'll just take a second here. Gearbox, I love you for Borderlands, but piss off for Alien Colonial Marines. God. Then there's another Aliens comic book, a Fire and Stone comic book. Then Alien 3, or Alien Cubed, if you're really fancy. Then the game Alien Dark Descent, Aliens Fireteam Elite, Aliens Phalanx, which is another novel, and then Alien Resurrection. So it takes place way after everything else. So the timeline is a little bit wonky, because I even forgot about the jump from Alien 3 to Alien Resurrection, because it's like 200-300 years or something like that in the future.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I could not follow the timeline the whole time I was watching it. I was like, I know this takes place sometime after this movie, but where it fits in with the others, I don't know. Or it takes place sometime before that one or whatever, but the rest of them fitting into that, I don't know. it's all over the place. Could not follow to save my life. But it's interesting that you say we have to talk about Covenant as well, because I feel like we're going to have some differing opinions on that one.
Okay. No, so let's just start with the original then.
Oh, yikes.
We'll make our way there. Oh, believe me, we will. So, the first Alien was released May 25th, 1979.
Yeah.
It was written by Dan O'Bannon, which some other people may recognize that name from Return of the Living Dead. So obviously Dan O'Bannon's awesome. And then Ridley Scott directed the movie. Oh, you know what? Spoilers for everything.
Yeah, there will be spoilers, heavy spoilers all over the place. I need to put like I need to get like a little cutout or something that I can put on the screen somewhere when we start talking about the shit that just says heavy spoilers ahead or some shit like that.
Yeah,
because we do that a lot.
We always forget about it. But yeah, the way I look at it, I can't spoil Alien Romulus for anybody because it's not even out.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything else we will be talking about has been out for at the very least 7 years.
Yeah.
So don't get pissed.
Yep. Go if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, go watch them and then come back and watch this.
Okay, so quick plot synopsis for Alien. A crew wakes up from hypersleep because they have received an SOS beacon. So on company orders, they have to sit down on this planet. They find something. Something comes back with them because they break their quarantine protocol. And then all hell breaks loose. That is Alien 1.
Yep.
So I'll be completely honest with Alien 1. It took me a long time to really like this movie, because Aliens, basically right out of the gate, I've loved Aliens all of my life.
Yeah.
But the first one, because obviously it's so different, because where I came into the franchise was Aliens, so we're talking action, horror. This is more just straight up horror, which, so when I say both of them are 10s, spoiler alert, they're 10s for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
Because, like, the isolation in this movie, just on the ship, if the alien bleeds through the hole, the ship's gonna explode. Like, there's so much just tension within this movie that it's awesome. And then plus, more tension for pet lovers, because you're wondering the whole time, is Jonesy gonna get it?
Yep.
Am I gonna have to cry over a cat that's dying in this movie? Spoilers. You're safe. He lives. But yeah, I do really, really love this movie now. But when I was a kid, it was harder to get into because it is a lot slower than
any of
Alien.
the other movies.
Yeah, 100%.
This is the slowest burning one in the franchise by a landslide.
But God, is it good?
It's good. It's good, and I liked it, but holy shit, it was a slow burn getting into it for sure. But I would also, even as an adult, I still probably need to watch it a couple more times to fully appreciate as much as of it as I can, anyway. But after one watch through of it, I liked it, but I can't say I loved it just because of the fact that, and it might just because I've been hella tired lately. I don't know what the fuck's going on with my sleep, but I just have been super tired for no reason, and maybe that's why the slow burn like drilled on me so hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it felt like it was an hour longer than it was.
No, I get that completely because, yeah, like, I could pull it up and literally just watch it through on YouTube, like, to see when when it starts getting real.
Yeah.
And it's a good ways into the movie, probably at least 30, 45 minutes before it's going down. And this is one movie that I'll put on just for background noise, just to fall asleep to. Yeah, it can put you to sleep. It's a great movie. I don't mean to sound like I'm shitting on it, but I mean it takes a long walk to get you where you need to go.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But,
absolutely.
So some of the cast that we've got in this movie, Tom Garrett, of course, he's been in all kinds of stuff. He's got that great, it was a beard or mustache, yeah. But like, MASH, Dead Zone, Top Gun, Poltergeist 3. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. But he plays Dallas. John Hurt is Kane. I don't know a whole lot of what he has been in. I do know he's the one who brings the xenomorph onto the ship.
Yeah, he also is Hellboy's father in the Hellboy movies.
Ah, okay. But then Sigourney Weaver, Ellen Ripley,
the good Hellboy movies, I should add.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. But Sigourney Weaver is a very, very crucial part. I almost said she is the Alien franchise, but Ripley is one of the greatest heroines of all time. Like, I don't understand. You were kind of lagging out there a little bit, Jacob.
Oh, you're good.
I don't understand why people nowadays are like, they got the woman be the final girl. It's like, well, it's been called the final girl forever. And if you're just not a fan of strong female characters, then I guess fuck you. It doesn't matter. They could be man or female. Like, so that just dumb and ignorant. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Ripley was the one who legit did not want Kane back on the ship because of the quarantine protocols. So she was being smart, and everybody else was being an idiot. Where's the other one? Ian Holm. Good old Bilbo.
Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo
Baggins.
as the asshole robot. Played to perfection, too, I will add.
Yeah.
Then we got Yaphet, or I don't know how to pronounce that. That's going to be bad. Yaphet Koto. All I know, he was in Freddy's Dead, and he was awesome as Doc. Veronica Cartwright, which she was also in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's, I believe it was the 78 version with Jeff Goldblum and Donald Sutherland. And then, a guy as a gigantic, like, 7, 8, 9 foot tall alien designed by H.R. Giger.
Balaji Badejo.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not even going to try that. Because, which...
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go right ahead. I've been talking.
I just wanted to add, because we were talking about John Hurt, he was also Ollivander, the wand salesman in Harry Potter.
That explains why I don't know what he's in.
He was also in V for Vendetta. I forget what he was in V for Vendetta, but I know he was in it.
Long Long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, same. I made it a. I was watching it every November 5th for a while, but I stopped doing that a while ago. But I was looking at his filmography, and I just discovered something that I did not fucking know. And this blows my mind, kind of. But he also voiced the Horned King in the Black Cauldron, the Disney Black Cauldron movie. And that just fucking blows my mind. Because I would have never guessed that, but listening to it in my head now, I'm like, holy shit, that is John Hurt. What the fuck? Like, when I say I love the Black Cauldron, I'm talking like I will be getting a Black Cauldron, the Horned King specifically, tattoo with Cauldron Born written on it somewhere on my body at some point. Deanna has already drawn me like a sketch of it. It looks phenomenal. It's great. But I actually did not know that John Hurt voiced him. I just never had any reason to look it up. But I fucking love the Black Cauldron. It's one of my childhood favorites. One of my comfort movies. I just put it on and just chill with. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. I did not know that. That is fucking awesome. But
It's awesome finding out little stuff like that.
no shit. That's crazy, man. I would have never I would never even thought to look. I don't know. But yeah. Great cast. Awesome cast for Alien.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, it's
we will be talking about another great cast here in a couple movies that didn't fucking matter. Because the movie was just so fucking bad that it's just one of those perfect examples of you can have a AAA cast. You can have the best of the best, the highest ranking members of your team in this movie, and it doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie, okay? It doesn't matter who you have in your movie. What matters is the plot, how those actors carry the plot, and the result of said plot. Like, that's it. It doesn't matter what faces are attached to it.
if the story is just like Foundation, if the story is dog shit, then it doesn't matter how good everything else is. It's gonna fall apart.
Exactly.
Like, plain and simple.
But we'll get into that here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and keep going Alien. Unless you were wanting to move to Aliens, but
A couple more things I wanted to talk about real quick. The chest burster scene.
The famous chest burster scene.
I was gonna say that legit is one of like the most just iconic, terrifying scenes in a movie ever. Especially being your first time watching it.
Oh yeah.
And you don't know, like, oh, he's fine. That thing came off of his face, he's fine.
He's good.
And then just starts convulsing and then just fucking, yeah. So good. And then the xenomorph, just awesome.
Yeah.
Great kills, great stealthiness.
Awesome use of practical effects, I might add.
Oh, God. Yeah. Once again, great practical effects. I love the ending of this movie with Ripley getting on the escape pod, and then it's like, okay, we're safe. I'm good. And then, yeah, fucking hand pops out. And then she has to blast him out the airlock. And then, which that's going to be an ongoing theme throughout the Alien movies. This isn't the only Alien movie where an alien gets blasted out of an air dock. So just be ready for that. But more than likely, if you're watching this, you already know.
Yep.
Then the movie ends with Ripley and Jonesy going into hypersleep, and we have a happy ending. Or do we?
Well, there's multiple other movies, so I'm going to assume not.
Yeah. Okay.
It only gets worse from here.
So yeah, just overall about the first Alien. I do love this movie. It is a great movie. Everything about it is legit a 10. But as I also previously stated, it's different reasons that it gets a 10 versus James Cameron's Aliens, which I find to be superior in every way, shape, and form over the original. Which that's something crazy that not a lot of movies can do, be a 10 and still like have the sequel better than the original. I might be crazy. I don't care. I've loved the Aliens forever.
No, I think that at least from what I've seen, it is a general consensus that Aliens is just a better movie, just overall. But I think it's just a matter of like they kind of found their stride. They found what worked, and then they just built upon it. And that's really what people that make bad sequels end up doing, is they just don't build upon the foundation that they made of what was good in the first one, you know? Not taking what was good in the first one and just rewriting it, but taking what was good in the first one and building on it. And that's what makes a good sequel. And unfortunately, it just falls flat all the time because people are just like, oh, well, this worked really good in the first one. Let's just do that exact thing, copy and paste the shit, and roll with it. And that's usually what makes a shitty sequel. Or they just disregard the whole first movie entirely and make a shit-ass movie. But
yeah,
we'll talk about that in another movie. But
yeah, we've got a few of those that we can definitely talk about that.
Oh, there's one in particular that I think had the stinkiest diaper. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was rough.
So I guess without further ado, let's talk about a little movie that came out July 18th, 1986, directed by a little guy named James Cameron. You may have heard of him. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's called Aliens.
He's made a couple movies.
Aliens. One thing that I want to start this off with. So when James Cameron was originally pitching the idea for this, it was Alien 2. I guess one of the meetings that he went into, he had Alien written up on like a blackboard or something like that.
And it looked like a Z.
And then, no, he freaking wrote an S and a $sign for Aliens. That's how ballsy and just awesome James Cameron is.
Jesus.
Now, I've heard in a lot of stuff that people like, oh, James is a very demanding director, i.e., he is an asshole, but he has made some of the best movies of all time that his greatness dare not be questioned.
Yeah, he just kind of do it.
Yeah, like you give him $2 billion, you can give him 20 years to make a movie. That thing's going to come back and gross $4 billion. Like,
yeah.
No problem whatsoever. But quick plot synopsis for Alien. Ripley, as we last saw her, was in cryosleep. She is discovered 57 years later. And then the company obviously wants to find out what the hell happened to the ship, the multi-billion-dollar ship that she blew up. And then they want to investigate her story to a certain extent, and then they find out, hey, we're going back because we lost contact with the people that were on the planet that you're saying this ship was on. So her and a bunch of badass Marines go to the planet, and then they get their shit pushed in. That's basically Alien 2 in a nutshell. Or Aliens. Sorry. Wow, that was stupid of myself. But yeah, I'll go ahead and start off. I've literally loved this movie since I can remember. I don't remember the first time I ever watched it. All I know is in 1991, there was a re-release of it. So there was new toys and stuff put out. I had every single one of them. No lie, every single fucking one of them. And I had to have eye surgery when I was 4 years old, so I was literally blind for a couple days. And yeah, that I had my Ripley, my Apone, my Hicks, my Drake, all of them with me while I had to stay at the hospital for a few days.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I've loved this movie longer than what I can honestly remember. It's just a badass, like, top tier action movie. Great practical effects. You still have they kind of took away the some of the tension with, like, oh god, we're on the ship. Like, if something happens, the ship could blow. No, now we're on a planet, so we're even more cut off from civilization. So it's different. But all the characters in this movie are just amazing. Hicks, played by Michael Biehn. Hudson by Bill Paxton. May he rest in peace, because, man, been killed by a Terminator, an Alien, and a Predator. Bill Paxton's got a resume. Like,
he just kept coming back for more.
Paul Reiser from Mad About You played Carter Burke. who is the film's, resident asshole,
Yeah.
basically tells the people, "Hey, go look for this ship." They find it. That's why they got to go out there. And then he's trying to sneak the alien back to the company so they can use it for their bioweapons and stuff. So this guy's a big old piece of shit who thankfully gets exactly what he deserves. I guess there is a deleted scene where Ripley finds him cocooned. And I'm not 100% sure, but if I was Ripley, because I haven't seen the scene, I've just heard about it, I would let him stay in there
Oh yeah.
and go F himself.
He
Then we got
he's also in Stranger Things too.
Well, yeah, he's the scientist.
Yeah. He talks
Yeah.
to
11.
11 for a little bit. That was earlier in the series. I'm pretty sure though. I'm like blanking on. I know
Wasn't he actually a good guy though?
I don't know. It's been a while, but I do remember him being in. I just remember him sitting in a diner with 11, talking at a table or some shit. And the reason I remember that is because he said the same line to Ripley in Aliens that he said to 11 at that diner.
Which one?
He said.
I would say, don't leave me in suspense like that. I didn't pick up on this little Easter egg.
That's like I heard that. I'm like, where the fuck did I hear that before? And I couldn't remember what I had seen him in. And then I was like, oh, that is what he said to 11 in Stranger Things. What the fuck was his name again? Reiser. Bill Reiser? What's his first name?
Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser. That's right. Paul.
Okay, while you're looking that up, I'll go through a little more of the cast. Al Matthews as Apone, which he was actually like a drill sergeant or in the military or something, so that just added a little more realism to it. Jeanette Goldstein was Vasquez, which she was also John Connor's foster mom in Terminator 2. Mark Rolston played Drake. Drake was always my favorite when I was a kid because he was just a hard ass and he had the smart gun. So loved Drake. I think that's about. I mean, there's more to the cast, obviously, but those are just like the main standout characters in my mind. Because I could talk about Gorman, but Gorman's kind of an asshole, played by William Hope, which, once again, I'm not seeing. Weird, but he was just kind of an asshole. Had to off himself with a grenade because he was going to get killed. So I guess it was more of a heroic sacrifice, but still. This movie introduces a young girl character too. Her name is Newt, played by Carrie Henn. Of the movie, that her family is the ones that find the ship because the dad gets the face hugger on his face. So by the time the Marines show up, the place is just beat to hell. And they find her roaming the air ducts because I'm assuming the aliens are too small to get in there. But then upon some further investigation, they find where all the colonists are because they all have trackers. But they've all been taken back to the alien nest to be cocooned so that way they can be impregnated and create more aliens. So the Marines don't fully realize that yet, even though Helen Keller could have figured that one out. But they go to the atmosphere processing plant literally right when they get there, to start finding the people and start having to kick some ass. Oh, hey, yeah, you can't use explosive tipped rounds. So flamethrowers and knocking feet and one of their balls off. They get their asses royally handed to them down there. And that is a real, legit, just awesome scene because the aliens are coming out of the walls because they, I think they, mold their secretion or whatever to create these kind of just fucked up hell-looking hallways. And, yeah, they're hiding in them. And such an awesome sequence, but unfortunately Drake dies getting into the extract, I guess, to use some Helldivers terms. Drake dies getting in the extract, so that always bummed me out. But then they escape. You like, hey, get the Sulaco in here. Let's freaking get out of here. But then an alien gets on the Sulaco as it's approaching them, and then it crashes. Then they're stuck. Then they find out they're gonna have to wait 17 days after they don't report in. I guess I should say before I go further, Hudson's famous line, "Game over, man. Game over." That happens after the Sulaco crashes. So then basically the Marines have to set up defenses, which in the extended cut they use turrets to kind of block off this main service tunnel. They weld doors shut. They put Bishop in a pipe, which that's Lance Hendrickson. He is the android. He has to go to this radio tower, remote pilot the extra ship, so that way they can get out. Well, the aliens are coming for him. Shit gets crazy. Hudson goes down, gets literally pulled in through the floor, but he goes out like a badass. And then Gorman and Vasquez get it in the air vents because Vasquez gets burnt by the acid, and then Gorman runs out of ammo, pops a grenade, and yeah. But then Ripley, Hicks, and Newt get separated from each other, and Newt goes down this little tunnel thing. They're trying to find her. She gets abducted. They run into the ship. And then before they get to the ship, they're in an elevator. Hicks gets acid all over him, so he's kind of done for the moment. Ripley has to go in like a badass, find her in the nest. And shortly after she finds her, she also finds something new that they were talking about but never showed, was an alien queen. And you want to talk about one bad bitch. Did you find the line? Are you listening to it? I can't hear you at all.
Oh, sorry. I figured it out. It was when he called her kiddo. He calls her kiddo when he's like giving her a debrief or something like that. And he calls 11.
Oh, yeah.
He calls 11 a kiddo as well in the diner when he's like trying to like console her about the situation going on. That's what I was thinking of, but
Okay.
I couldn't remember. I knew that it had something to do with Stranger Things. I was like, I know I've heard this man say the same fucking thing before on a different show or movie, but
no, I never even picked up on that, so that's awesome. But yeah, Ripley goes and saves Newt, finds the alien queen, torches the eggs, which pisses the queen off. She separates from her womb or birthing tube, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's weird. And then the queen's chasing them. They get on the ship. They think they made it, and they're good. And then Bishop gets the queen's tail right through him, ripped in half. The queen is now on the Sulaco, ready to fucking kill people. Now, I gotta pause my story real quick and grab a visual display thing. So, Jacob, talk for a little bit.
okay. So the queen itself, I just want to say, was a phenomenal design. Looked really fucking cool. Loved every second of that. And then the fight scene that I'm assuming Derek's about to talk about with the queen here in a minute was just a really cool scene. Oh, wait, is that the exact scene that I'm talking about? It is. That is the exact fucking scene that I was literally just about to bring up. Is the fight scene.
Unfortunately, it is from Colonial Marines. And people are like, well, it sounded like you hated that game. Why did you buy it? I literally paid $10 for this statue, and then I threw the rest of the game, like, the game itself away. I wanted the statue, because the statue is awesome. With the Marine and the power loader, this is basically the end of Aliens, because Ripley's in a power loader instead of a regular xenomorph. It's the queen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not the queen though, but that is the exact fucking scene. Yeah. Power loader versus the xenomorph. That's awesome. That's sick.
Yeah. So Ripley, get away from her, you bitch! and then begins to uncork the ass beating of a lifetime in the power loader.
Just
And
completely uncorked.
yeah, and Ripley drops her in the thing, like gonna shoot her out the airlock, because that's what Ripley's mastered by this point, is shooting shit out of an airlock.
It's just what we do.
Yeah, and but the alien queen's like, fuck that, grabs her, pulls her down. Then it's a struggle, which I'm pretty sure Ripley, like, that vacuum would have just completely been like, oh, this elbow, fuck that elbow, you're in space now too.
Yeah.
But Ripley survives, Hicks survives, Newt survives, and Bishop's in fucking pieces, but he does technically survive. And then they go into hypersleep, and then we finally get a happy ending. Or do we?
Spoiler, no, we don't.
Yeah. No. Happy endings do not exist in this franchise.
No.
So, all in all, Aliens is legit one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah. I liked this one significantly more than I liked the first one.
Yeah. It's just faster paced. I mean, there's... Not that the characters were bad in the first movie, because they're not, but I just also feel like the characters in this movie were just more interesting and exciting. Like Hudson, for instance, because he adds a lot of just flair to the movie of being that badass Marine. We got nukes, knives, sharp sticks. Like, Hudson's just perfect. And yeah, this movie is perfect in my mind.
Also, we didn't talk about the best line in the whole fucking movie, but
what line?
You ever been mistaken for a man? No.
Oh,
have you? That shit killed me, dude. That shit sent me over the edge. I loved it. Vasquez.
Vasquez to Hudson.
Yeah, that was good.
No, my favorite line is when they're in the vehicle and he's like, we got tactical smart nukes, we got this, we've got nukes, knives, sharp sticks. Like, that line fucking kills me every single time.
Hell
when
yeah.
He's just listing off every badass, like, future thing that they could have, and then sharp sticks.
Sharp sticks. That's what he's landing on for the finale. That's awesome.
But yeah, can't say enough good things about this movie. It's perfect. It is literally perfect.
There's also just enough comedy to make it, like, broken up the monotony a little bit, but not so much of it that it soils the fucking pants of whoever's wearing it, like another movie we'll talk about here in a little while. But
okay, so before we dive into Alien 3, I do want to take a quick second and mention the only good, and yeah, there was one good thing that came out of Aliens Colonial Marines. That's in the DLC. You find out that Hicks is not in the escape pod. It's somebody else. So, Hicks technically survives. Now you're like, well, Derek, you told me he survives in Aliens. Well, you know what? In Alien 3, they try to tell us a different story. So, Hicks is alive. Colonial Marines is canon for this franchise. But that's all the more I'm going to talk about that dog shit pile of fucking game. So, now, let's go ahead and we'll jump into Alien 3.
okay.
Before we get super in-depth with this movie was in legit production hell forever. I don't know a lot of the backstory behind it. I know there was multiple drafts of just completely different stuff that ultimately did kind of all come together in what we got from this movie. There is a book that I'm currently in the process of reading, and I believe it was by William Gibson. It's about Alien 3. It's actually the version that they were close to going with, because they wanted to kind of move away from Sigourney Weaver, I guess. I don't know why. But the focus was going to be more on Hicks. And yeah, so I've been reading that, but as if you've already seen it, Hicks ain't in this movie because they try to tell you he's dead in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Okay. So, Alien 3 was released May 22nd, 1992. And one thing I want to point out that is big for this movie was directed by David Fincher. Now, this was his first major motion picture as far as I'm aware. But in case if you haven't heard of anything that he's done, let me just go ahead and say Seven, Fight Club, Girl with Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl, Curious Case of Benjamin Button. David Fincher has made some just banger ass movies, but he basically disowns this movie because it was just a complete fucking mess to film this movie.
Yeah. It kind of shows in the final product too. I think out of all the movies, this one was just kind of like a middle of the ground. Like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like great either. Like it was all right. Yeah. Would I watch it again? Yeah, probably. But it's not something I'm gonna go out of my way to watch now.
Now I will ask you this question: which version of the movie did you watch?
Whichever one was on Hulu, because I have Hulu. But
well, I'll ask you this question then: did the alien come out of a dog or a cow?
A dog?
Yeah.
A dog.
Oh, he came out of the dog.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you watched the original theatrical cut. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember seeing a cow anywhere.
Yeah, no. In the assembly cut, it comes out of a cow, and there's like a whole added subplot in this movie where they actually do capture the alien. Like, when they're originally trying to get him in that toxic waste thing. Yeah. They capture him, 100% capture him. But then the crazy guy that gets him and his two buddies are in the tunnels exploring or whatever, and then they get killed, and then they're like, oh my god, this guy. Yeah, he actually kills or knocks out the guy that's watching him, kills the guy that's guarding the door, and then opens the door and gets killed by the alien, then the alien gets loose again.
Huh.
So, yeah. But
why do they have a cow in the prison?
For food?
Oh, yeah, I guess. That's fair, That's fair. I wouldn't keep livestock in a prison like that, though.
Yeah, especially when, the lice is so bad there, they have to have their heads shaved at all times, basically. But, I guess, quick synopsis. Ripley crash lands on Fury, was it 151 or 1... Yeah, Fury 161. And, she finds out that there was a little something that was left behind.
Who would have known that was going to happen?
That caused their pods to eject. Well, okay, here's my question. Because if the Queen needs that big-ass fucking tube thing to shit out the eggs, how was one in the ship? Especially considering that she hid in the landing gear to get into the ship. So she did not go through the ship and be like, I'm going to place this egg right here by the cryopods that everybody's going to miss. How? That makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. How?
Yeah, I don't know.
She just straight pooping them? She pooping them?
I guess she's pooping eggs, man. I don't know.
No weird big-ass tube thing? She's just straight up shitting them out?
Just shitting them out.
It sounds weird, but that is one of my biggest problems with the movie itself. Because the prison stuff, it's different. It's not bad. It's just different. But how we got there makes no goddamn sense to me whatsoever because it just doesn't seem plausible. So I felt like they were like, oh, well, the Queen was on board. She left an egg behind.
Yeah.
Well, she has to have this womb thing to lay the egg.
Did the Queen directly impregnate Ridley? Or
Ripley.
Ripley, yeah. Did the Queen directly impregnate her?
No.
Did she somehow Like she was on the ship and she fucking impregnated Ripley, and that's how she got the thing.
Yeah. No, because in the opening where it's kind of like showing flashes of what's happening, it shows an egg like up in the thing. So no,
Oh
it's
yeah.
not like
Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not anything left over from aliens. It's just there's an egg, boom, right up there.
and it just so happens to be a queen egg too.
Now the yeah, but one thing that makes sense, or I guess at least could make sense, in like especially if we're factoring in colonial marines, the company could have hijacked, like could have boarded the ship, like they kind of do in the game. Hicks fights them off, whatever, but they stick the egg like in there. Like that's the only thing that can make sense. But at the same time, if they completely nuked LV-426 and all the eggs and everything are dead, where did they get the egg from? Because point in the franchise, you're lagged, by the way. You're not moving.
Damn it. Yeah, you were lagging for a second as well.
Yeah, we're having some issues, but yeah. So that's really where my problems are with Alien 3 is just how did that goddamn egg get in there? Everything else I think is okay. It's not bad. It's definitely passable, but if we're starting on shit, it's gonna be shit, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like what we were talking about with the foundation and the story earlier. But yeah, basically Ripley crash lands on Fury 161, and it's like an all-male prison that they're like religious and shit, and having a woman there, it gives them the temptations.
It gives them some temptations, all right. Holy shit.
Yeah, and obviously there's no weapons because it's a prison. So they got to fight this alien in weird ways, which I will say they don't blow them out of an airlock. So
that's true. There is no airlock to blow them out of because they're like not in a ship.
we got some creativity in this movie.
Yeah.
I guess I would say like the only thing that this movie really is still known for in the franchise is that iconic freaking scene of Ripley after they just killed Tywin Lannister. Ripley's up against the wall and then the alien like gets in her face and she's like that is awesome. That is probably the best, like maybe not the best, but like the second best shot or just sequence in this entire franchise. Better than Alien, probably not better than the original Chestburster, but just that scene is freaking gold for the movie.
That was pretty good. It's pretty good.
But yeah, so
the only I was gonna call out a cast member, Pete Postlethwaite. I don't know how you pronounce his last name, but he played David. He's in a bunch of fucking bangers, including one of my favorite movies of all time, Dragonheart. If you've never seen it, go watch it. He's also in James and the Giant Peach. He's the guy that gives James the little green things that makes the peach grow.
God, I haven't seen James and the Giant Peach in so long.
Dude, when I was little, I loved that movie. I watched it all the time. Like, I had the VHS. That shit was probably worn to shit.
I remember I had it taped on a VHS that also had Friday the 13th Part 6 on it.
That's awesome. That also doesn't surprise me at all, but that's fucking awesome. But he's also in several of the Jurassic Park movies. I don't remember his character's name, but
oh yeah, wasn't he like the big badass hunter in Jurassic Park or Lost World?
He is.
He's the one who wants to bag the T-Rex.
Yes. I don't remember.
Awesome actor, regardless.
Yeah, I don't remember his character's name off the top of my head, but I know he's in several of them. But anyway, yeah, Dragonheart, James and the Giant Peach. He plays David in Alien, I think is his name in Alien 3. Yeah, David. But yeah.
Another one of the more, I guess he's second billing in this movie would be Charles S. Dutton, he played Dylan. Thought he was awesome, just kind of the leader of the religious dudes. He's been in more stuff, but it's not really popping anything up for me. But he's a badass. Like, I mean, his character is like, okay, you know what? I know I'm gonna die. I'm gonna fist fight this fucking alien.
Yeah.
Mad respect from me for that.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah. And then, I did mention Charles Dance, which I couldn't think of that. All I know is Tywin Lannister. Soul. But, so, yeah, there are a lot of, like, really good actors in this movie, but just from behind-the-scenes turmoil and, like, just too many cooks in the kitchen. David Fincher legit was about ready to just never direct a movie again. And then, thank God, he did Seven, because that saved him. But, in a way, it saved all of us. But, yeah, this one, like, kind of like what you said, middle of the road, not bad, not good. It does have some good elements about it, but my major issue with the egg, it's there. You can watch it.
Yeah.
Or not. Just definitely make sure you hit the first two. Those are important. But
this also brings up it also brings Bishop back at the end, doesn't it? Or brings Bishop back when they're using his head to do something.
To find out if there was an alien on board.
Yeah. He's going back in the files and shit. Yeah, that's right. And then he comes back as his
Bishop.
real person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes back to show her a friendly face or something like that.
Oh, I guess, Ripley's impregnated with the queen. Woo.
Yeah.
Which another thing that they don't really ever talk about is how long the embryo has to be in before bursting happens. Because in some of the other movies, it's like that. Like, you wake up, oh man, I feel like ass. My throat hurts. This one, like, it seems like she's running around for a solid week.
Oh, the whole movie. She's got the fucking alien in her chest, or in her head.
No, I'm just saying, like, the time period of the movie felt like it was a week long.
Yeah.
And was fine, but yet some people like that. Then people are like, well, it's because it's a queen that's why it takes more time.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take that much more time.
No. But before we move on to the next one, though, we do also have to mention that Ripley pulls a golem and jumps into Mordor at the end, with the queen bursting out of her chest the whole time as she's falling.
That is one thing that I do like about the theatrical cut better than the assembly cut, because in the assembly cut she just full Jesuses it and falls into the fire or whatever. In the theatrical cut, the queen bursts out of her, so she's holding her as they're falling.
Yeah,
I like that shot better than just the "I'm Jesus, I saved you all."
Yeah, she definitely jumps into the fire with that alien, and it would have been a really cool trilogy.
Yeah, Ripley finally gets her happy ending in death.
Yep. It would have been a really good trilogy, and we could have just ended it there. We'd been fine.
Yeah. But no. We decided
yikes.
that there was still some milk left in this cow.
Do we have to?
Released. November 6th is when it premiered. 1997. Directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Probably butchered it. Don't care. Alien Resurrection. This movie is ass.
Doo-doo.
So, very, very short synopsis. It's 200 years after Alien 3. The company gets Ripley's DNA, or I guess they've had it this whole time, and are trying to make a clone of her, so they can extract the queen. Now, there's a bunch of different clone versions of Ripley because the alien and the human kept mixing together, and they were trying to essentially get a Pokemon perfect stats, everything, shiny version of Ripley with the queen by itself in her so they could extract the queen and then create other aliens. Um, that is the dumbest. Jesus.
I just want to go ahead and list off the cast real quick.
Yeah,
we got
go ahead. It does have a very good cast.
And this is why it's so disappointing, because Winona Ryder, Ron Perlman, fucking Gary Durden, fucking Michael Wincott, Brad Dourif is in this fucking movie. And he plays the best slimy, sleazy-ass scientist that anybody could ever play. He does. Which is good, because that's the kind of role he does really well. But...
And Dan Hedaya, he was the dad in Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah, I just, like... Come on, man. How do you have a fucking cast like that and then produce a movie like this?
Should we tell him who wrote this movie?
Yeah, probably.
Joss Whedon. So, the next time you say Buffy, Avengers, I say Alien Resurrection. And fucking Justice League.
Oh, yuck. Don't even bring that name up to me.
Like, no, obviously Joss Whedon has some good stuff under his belt, but holy crap, he has also got some straight garbage, too. This movie did not feel like an Alien movie at all. It felt dumb and just...
You know what it felt like? It felt like a Resident Evil movie.
Except bad?
No, I'm talking about the ones that were bad. Like, it felt like just Ripley was this like superhero level fucking Avengers level threat kind of person. Not like plot wise or anything, but like it felt like the main female lead was just this completely impossible to kill demolishing machine. And then we've got like a band of fucking merry misfits and shit around them that shoot guns cool and shit and say some really stupid, just dumb fucking quips the whole movie. And there was just completely pointless action throughout the whole thing.
Not good action either.
Yeah, no, that's why I said pointless. Just completely pointless action, spit all over the place. The dumbest comical relief that you could possibly put into any movie ever. The jokes did not land. They were stupid as shit. I barely even got a chuckle out of me on some of them. And I think the only ones that even got chuckles out of me were because they were so bad. Like, I was just like, man, what in the fuck is going on? If there was ever an example of a movie that just did not need to be made, like it was completely pointless, had nothing to do with anything, all of the movies that followed it, all the movies that came before it, they could have done well without it. It doesn't matter. You can remove this movie and nothing has changed. Nothing is better for it either. Like, if anything, we're better without it, and they should have just not produced this movie at all. But
yeah, one thing about this movie that never sat well with me was the fact that, like, okay, so obviously the cloning wasn't 100% Ripley. Ripley's blood is acid, so she's got a little bit of alien in her, which obviously means that the queen has a little bit of human in her. Same with all the other aliens and stuff. But when Ripley is around the humans, she's acting all like just weird. But then when she's around the aliens and, they're like, hey, homie, what's up? She's just, oh my God, I'm human now.
yeah.
Like, that never sat well with me. And then the queen, like, actually legit giving birth like a person, i.e., the switched genes and stuff, to that fucking weird face-looking alien.
That was not good.
It's just awful.
The noises it was making, everything was just uncomfortable.
Okay. I kind of want to be done talking about this movie because it's fucking god awful.
We'll go ahead and throw in that there was a getting shot into space scene, as we've already discussed. And honestly, I wish the rest of the characters also just got shot into space and annihilated, because they were all fucking bad. Everybody in this movie was dog shit, just not good. This whole movie was terrible. Erase it from the face of the earth.
Yeah.
If you're doing if you're doing an Alien watch through of the franchise, just skip this movie. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, and technically, I mean, it's last in the timeline, so you can just never watch it and be A-okay.
Yep.
God, fucking hate that movie. But anyways, released June 8th, 2012 in the U.S. Prometheus. Now, this movie was big because it was Ridley Scott's return to the Alien franchise. But I know everyone's like, but Derek, it's not an Alien movie. Yes, it is. Shut up. It deals with the space. It talks about the space jockeys that were mentioned in Alien 1. One, I guess, I'm not even going to say fun fact, but I remember I saw this in theaters twice when it came out, and I got to see it in 3D both times. This was the best 3D I've ever seen in a movie, because it's like, oh, stuff's coming out at me, but the actual screen felt like there was depth in it, and that was way more than just the, oh my god, the titles are coming right for you. Oh, whoops, I'm the camera.
Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah.
I know that was part of the charm of Spy Kids 3D. I'm just memeing, but
so that added to the movie, because it wasn't just gimmicky 3D like My Bloody Valentine 3D or something like that.
Slow motion throwing a pickaxe to the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So I guess very quick synopsis. Some archaeologists, I guess. I mean, I don't even know what kind of shit they're archaeologists. They find these paintings all throughout the world of like these certain people pointing up to this constellation. And so they plug it in, they find this planet or whatever. It's a moon, I believe. And they're like, we want to meet our makers. And then disprove religion altogether. So it's like, yeah, you fucking get it. But once they land on the planet, after some exploring and initial excitement, they find out this isn't a home world or a utopia. It is a fucking weapon factory. Mm-hmm. And chaos ensues. So, with the cast, I mean, obviously you got to talk about Michael Fassbender as David.
Oh, yeah, dude. David. I love David so much, dude. I don't give a fuck. I love him.
He is a perfect asshole.
Yes, he is.
Loved him in this movie. And only this movie.
Oh, shit.
God, hopefully I don't boof this. Noomi Rapace, Dr. Elizabeth Shaw, which she was just the humanity throughout the entire movie. Charlize Theron as Meredith Vickers. Charlize Theron's a great actress, and she could play anything perfectly. And she plays the bossy executive bitch to a T.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Idris Elba, he's great in everything he's in.
Yeah, that man can touch a fucking pile of dog shit and it'll turn to gold. Not even kidding.
Oh, dude.
I fucking love him.
And one that I definitely got to shout out, Logan Marshall Green. He was in Upgrade, which was amazing, and then Spider-Man Homecoming, and what else was there? Oh, he was in Devil. I didn't realize that. It's been a minute since I've seen
Wait a minute.
that.
Who the fuck was he in Spider-Man Homecoming?
He was Shocker.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. That's all coming back.
Yeah. And, of course, Guy Pearce. He's one of those, you've seen him. You know. He's a great, all great actors. Great cast all around. A lot of people didn't really like the story because they thought, oh, it's set in the Alien universe. We're going to get aliens. We didn't. That's okay, because this wasn't... Oh, go ahead.
Also, just 'cause I know you probably didn't call him out because he didn't have a huge role, but Patrick Wilson was also in this movie. He was
Oh,
what's her face's
oh,
dad.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it was a
Yeah.
little call out. He wasn't in it for very long, but I love him. He's a good actor, and obviously Watchmen, and he's played in a lot of stuff. Insidious, I'm pretty sure he was in.
Aquaman.
No, we can skip that. He was in. Actually, he's in the Exorcist movies too, isn't he? He's the or Conjuring. The Conjuring.
Yeah, Conjuring. Yeah, for sure.
He's in the
And
Conjuring. That's what I'm
Insidious.
thinking of. But yeah.
Um,
Anyway, Patrick Wilson, awesome actor. But
Oh yeah. And also Benedict Wong is in this movie, which
oh yeah,
yeah, he plays God. What? I'm blanking. What's it from Doctor Strange? Is
Wong.
it Wong?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He plays himself.
To a T, by the way.
Kate Dickey as well. I know not exactly like a very big name. She's a phenomenal actress, but she is in Derek. She's in the fucking Witch.
Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Well, yeah, and she's Liza Aaron in Game of Thrones.
I've never watched Game of Thrones, so
That you should.
I've been told.
God, yeah,
I
don't
know. I've been told. But yeah, she's the mom in The Witch as well, and she's great. But
So one thing that I think a lot of people forget about this movie is it does take place in like it says they find the caves and stuff in 2089. So this movie takes place like good bit before the first Alien. So I love the fact that it didn't just outright show us xenomorphs and stuff like that. It was evolved, like pre-evolved forms of them.
yeah.
Love that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, David's just the perfect asshole robot.
I love David, dude.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying he's bad, but like, I mean, he plays a bad guy, so it's like I don't like him because he's an asshole in the movie. He's doing his job very good because I don't like him because of his performance.
Yeah. He also, I think in this scenario, he was doing bad things on behalf of
Mr. Wayland.
Mr. Wayland, yeah. So, in this movie, at least, he wasn't particularly bad. He was literally as neutral as you can be because of that. He was created to do this, and he was doing it under Wayland's command.
Yeah.
But that doesn't excuse the fact that some of the stuff he does was pretty fucking heinous.
Yeah.
Especially, dude, him dropping the shit in what's his face's champagne.
Yo, yeah.
Charlie's champagne, just bloop, and he drinks it, and then we get that really ugly scene of him looking in his eye and little fucking worms like crawling out of it. I'm like, oh no, that's nasty. I don't ever want to see that again.
A lot of people bitch about that scene, believe it or not. They're like, how did he not see him putting it in his drink? And it's like, he was drunk.
Yeah, he was wasted, dude. He was wasted.
Yeah.
He had already gone through a whole bottle of champagne, if not multiple, by the time we had seen him. We don't know what happened between those transition scenes, but we know at least he went through one.
He was wasted and depressed. Cut him some slack.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck out of here, dude.
dumb. Like, people bitch about anything.
Yeah, that is a dumb complaint.
So, yeah, they're trying to meet their makers, and ultimately, Mr. Wayland, played by Guy Pearce, he wants to see if they can cure him because he's old, decrepit, and
Dying.
He's knocking. He's knocking on death's door. Like, he's not even knocking. He's pounding as hard as his old little hands can.
Yeah.
So, upon investigation, they find these tubes. Black ooze starts leaking out of them, which then corrupts or evolves these worms, which then kill two of the guys that accidentally get left behind.
Yeah.
Then David finds out, oh, hey, there's still an engineer that's alive. And so they take Mr. Wayland to go talk to him. Engineer wakes up. He is pissed. He wants to kill Earth and everybody from it. So yeah, old man gets beat to death with David's head. So that's cool. David gets decapitated. So I got that enjoyment. But
Literally
then,
rips his head off with his bare hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Just. But then Shaw convinces the people on the Prometheus, like, hey, this alien's getting ready to take off on this ship, and its cargo is death. And so they crash the Prometheus into it like a speeding bullet. And the engineer's not very happy. So, previously in the movie, there was one really cool scene with this pod that it can do open heart surgery and stuff. It can do all different kinds of surgeries. So Shaw gets impregnated by Logan Marshall Green, who, was infected by David when he did the little drop in the drink. So she had to give herself a cesarean section with this frickin' thing, and it pulls out what looks like a really pre-version of a facehugger. So now we fast forward. The engineer catches up to her. She opens up that thing. We don't have a cute little like size of this anymore. This thing is fucking huge, and it literally overpowers the engineer and impregnates him. Shaw finds David. They get on this other ship that we never know about, but it's there. Plot stuff. They take off, and then eventually an alien bursts out of the engineer's chest that looks very similar to a xenomorph, but it's not a xenomorph. It's got a tail, like it's the back of its head comes to a sharp point instead of just being curved. It doesn't have the mandible that can come out all the way, like its own thing. It, if anything, its jaw extends and then another set of teeth come out. So it's a very, very early form of a xenomorph. And then basically the movie ends with Shaw and David looking for their home planet because she has some questions that she wants to ask them.
Yep.
She wants to speak to the fucking manager.
Yeah, she does. She wants to speak so hard she pulls out a fucking alien spaceship and goes to the whole ass planet of the creators of the creators. At least attempts to, which we'll get into later. But also the Idris Elba blasting through the ship or whatever. I don't know if you made the same connection I did with The Last Jedi, but
Oh yeah. Well, actually, this way before Last Jedi.
I know. And this one, in my opinion, didn't piss me off as bad either, because we don't have to talk about it. We can probably have a whole episode on Star Wars from the Crypt, but that should have been where Leia died. I'm just gonna put that out there, but
Not wrong.
I'm just gonna leave that there on the table.
But I guess in closing for Prometheus, I really enjoyed this movie a lot.
Same.
And I still like watching it. It's got a good cast. It's just fun being a fan of the Alien franchise and then them going like to the beginning. So we're seeing the pre-evolved forms of everything. We're seeing the space jockeys, which are engineers. Yeah, it asks a lot of questions. It leaves a lot of questions unanswered. I mean, I don't think I've ever went into a movie and it's like, it answered every single one of my questions. I am 1,000% content with this.
Yeah.
No, it leaves room to theorize and come up with your own ideas.
Yeah, and that's fun. Dude, I love speculation with movies. It's a very fine line between speculation and just completely leaving me baffled to the point where I'm confused. Like sometimes that's okay with like cliffhangers and shit, but like I don't want to get to the end of a movie and not have any satisfaction at all. I'd like some room for speculation, sure, but like if nothing was answered the whole time, like that's a whole different story, but I think this one definitely did a good job of kind of getting a good middle ground there, but
yeah. All in all, better than Alien 3.
Oh.
Much, much better than Alien Resurrection.
By a landslide.
Yeah.
Also,
go ahead.
I do want to make another call out to the H.R. Geiger style theme of the caves and shit, or which I guess we find out later is the ship or whatever, but when they're in the room with all the little pods that have the black shit in it or whatever, and they're looking at the walls and stuff, there is there is a xenomorph etched into the wall.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
like just frontal head, like that one Leonardo da Vinci diagram. I don't know what it's called, but it's a fucking xenomorph etched into the wall with like this really cool H.R. Geiger style like inlay and shit.
I know which one you're talking about, where it's got the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't think of the name for that either.
It's like a callback to that. It's not that exact thing, but it kind of gives that kind of vibe, and I thought that was cool because, like you said, we only see like pre-evolution xenomorphs the whole movie, but it's kind of like a foreshadowing of what they're going to become, kind of thing, like a kind of a vision of sorts, just depicted in this cave art, if you will, which is what the movie started with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was kind of a cool nod, but I also just like H.R. Geiger's art. He's a phenomenal artist, and if you're into creepy horror sci-fi artwork and you don't know who H.R. Geiger is, go look at his shit, because obviously it's alien all over it, but it's so good.
So, let's talk about another movie. Released May 19th, 2017 here in the States. I was there opening weekend. Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott back directing. Everything seems good because Alien, Prometheus, awesome. Great movies. This goddamn movie. Oh my god.
Okay, so before you ream into it, I will say the movie as a whole I thought was fun. It was a fun movie, but there was a very large shift in this being even an alien movie at all, because it goes into the territory of being more so about the androids or whatever, specifically David, than it has anything to do with the aliens, in my opinion. Like, this movie should have just been called David. Like, honestly, because it just was a movie about David the whole fucking time. It had very, very little, if any, implication to alien or xenomorphs or anything at all, other than the fact that David was trying to, like, experiment with them and shit. But
yeah.
Overall, if you take that out of it, though, I thought it was a fun movie.
Okay, all right. So let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Quick plot synopsis. In 2104, 11 years after Prometheus, the Covenant, which is a colonization ship carrying a bunch of different married, keep in mind, married crew members, people in cryo, and then they've even got a bunch of embryos that are like literally ready to go. So they're going to this planet, which, Origai 6. Yeah, that's what it's called. Along the way there, their ship gets damaged, so the crew has to wake up. Some shit goes down. James Franco burns alive. He's the captain. So then they let a religious nutbag be the captain. While they're fixing the ship, Danny McBride, who I love, by the way. Love Danny McBride. And even this, he's okay. But then he gets this transmission into his helmet, and it's of Elizabeth Shaw from Prometheus singing Country Roads, Take Me Home by John Mr. fucking Denver. And then they're like, oh, we've got to investigate this planet. Why didn't this planet ever pop up on the scans? And then they go investigate the planet, and then bad shit happens. That's the quick synopsis. Okay, first fucking question. You're going on an alien fucking planet. It does not matter that, like, oh, the air's breathable down there. We don't know what kind of other toxins and stuff is down there. Any kind of just life forms, anything. We don't know shit about this. Why in the fuck are we not bringing any protective gear down there? Oh, here, hold on. Let me get my Rams cap and put that on. Okay. I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to get anything in my fucking ear and then have a neomorph break out of my back. Fucking stupid. God. Like, at least in Prometheus, they had the suit on, and then they're like, okay, this is a goddamn, like, basically a cave that has been terraformed already.
Yeah.
Let's experiment. No, these motherfuckers just right out of the gate. No protective armor, no fucking nothing.
Fuck it, YOLO.
Yeah, get ready for a lot of F-bombs, because I'm serious. I hate this fucking movie.
Also, like, you would also think that after they realized that there was no birds or squirrels or wildlife or anything anywhere whatsoever, because they even said that in the movie. They're like, it's kind of weird. It's really quiet. There's no birds or anything.
Yeah, there's nothing here.
That probably should have been a red flag.
Yeah. So then, anyways, it's like, oh, I'm gonna take water samples. I'm gonna do this. Fucking dipshit. Yeah, I'm gonna step on this fucking thing of eggs, and then little black dust is going into my ear. Oh, I'm not feeling good all of a sudden. I'm sorry. This is like Alien Resurrection is stupid, but these characters are fucking just on a whole new level of stupid in this fucking movie. And don't even give me. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there with Captain Oram. Fucking idiot. But then shit starts going haywire. They're like, oh, we got to get this guy back on the ship. Danny McBride's wife's down there. She's freaking out. I've never heard my wife scared before. Everybody gets scared. I don't know how you haven't heard your wife being scared, considering you fucking work in space.
She's a tank, man. She's just a tank.
So then, anyways, the captain's wife, which they don't do a very good job of making you feel like, oh, that's a husband and wife. It's like, no, they're just meat. That's all I see them as. Unless if the unnecessary, hey babe, hey honey, hey wife, like you don't even think of them like this. But then, yeah, the captain's wife is working on the dude who had the shit in his ear, and Danny McBride's wife's like, oh, I can't let you out, quarantine. It's like, okay, somebody has a brain on this dropship. But then proceeds to undo all of that, considering she could have let her out, like, I don't know, 100 goddamn times before. When she finally goes to let her out, gets a shotgun, slips on blood, shoots the ceiling, fucking Neomorph breaks out, and then she's shooting just, like she's Rambo, hits the fuel, blows the fucking dropship up. Like,
okay, I will say this: that scene in particular boiled my blood. I'm not gonna lie, I was audibly pissed off at that you would just start blasting in the middle of a fucking ship right next to fuel canisters and shit. Like where did you think that was gonna end? You know what I mean? How did you think this is going to unfold? Because you had to have known shooting projectiles in an enclosed area with a bunch of fuel canisters and who the fuck knows what else as far as like electricals and stuff go. Yeah, you gotta know that's a bad situation regardless of how dumb you are or how, like, unequipped for guns you are, like, if you don't know anything about guns, you still gotta kind of understand that that's not a good situation to be in.
Yeah. And, oh, God. So then I
started blasting.
Then I started blasting.
Yeah.
And so then everybody else from the search party or just surveying crew, whatever, they're coming back. Boom! Dropship blows up. What are we going to do? Then the Neomorph, and I think there's another one too, just run around, fuck people up. They're way faster than Xenomorphs. They're also way more white than Xenomorphs. I think they're okay. Like, really, I've got much bigger complaints than the Neomorph.
I was gonna say, I thought they looked great. I mean, as far as CGI and shit goes, because obviously, I'm a practical effects guy, but I thought they did really well with the Xenomorphs or Neomorphs or whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah. But then that's when David comes and saves them. And then they're like, oh my god, there's a person here. Wait, this is an android. What's going on? He looks just like Walter. And, and then there's like there was tension. Like, Michael Fassbender is a great enough actor that only he could create sexual tension between himself.
Yeah. And he did it. I was a little turned on myself.
He knocked it out of the park, and when I'm saying this is in no way, shape, or form a good thing. So then, anyways, the captain, who, as I previously stated, is a religious nut job, and nobody likes him. He's at whatever point talking with David. I think he kills a neomorph that David was like trying to tame. Whole nother level, stupid. Not gonna touch that one. And then he's like, "Hey, look in this," and it's an alien egg. And then you find out, that David designed the xenomorphs.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, I see what you're. Yeah, okay.
This is where, like, that moment.
See. Okay.
That moment is 1,000% when I gave up on this fucking movie.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay, I got you. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I got you on that one. All right. That's fair.
Yeah, because David experimented on everything, including Elizabeth Shaw, even, I think, using some of her to create the eggs.
Yeah.
And then Orm's dumb... yeah, hey, look in there. Oh, okay, let me just get right over here and...
Which really sucks because that is also Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. He's a great actor, so it sucks that his character had to be so shit.
I didn't realize that was Dr. Manhattan, but I really wish he would have just went full on fucking blew himself up.
Yeah. No, that's Dr. Manhattan.
And
Billy.
It's just,
Billy something starts with a C. His last name starts with a C. I don't remember his name, but
Billy Crudup.
Crudup. Yeah, something like
that. But then, yeah, there's a storm that's preventing the Covenant from coming down. So once the storm kind of clears, then Danny McBride comes down. There's not very many people left alive because, let's face it, they're all dumb as fuck in this movie. So then they get on it's like a freight thing. It's not like an actual drop ship. It's something you shouldn't enter an atmosphere, but Danny McBride's got balls, so he doesn't. But the xenomorph now, out of Orm's dumbass, frickin' is running around on this ship, so it's really cool. Like, they use a crane to, like, get him, imprison him, and then they crush him. That was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
I liked that whole sequence. And it was different. He wasn't blown out of an airlock. So, Once again, creativity.
Loved it. Love to see it.
That's the only bit of creativity in this movie.
They also even went so far as to say, no, I shouldn't do that. It's going to unbalance the ship or whatever. Because it's like a freighter kind of thing. Like, it's a drop ship. It's not a drop ship. It's like something you do construction with. That you haul stuff with or whatever. And then it's got a crane on the end of it. So it's got to be put in a very specific place to balance the ship out. I thought that was pretty cool that they added that, because they could have easily just left that out and just made it a cool little, like, we're going to grab the xenomorph of the crane and squish it. That's cool. But they actually went all out while they're flying. The whole ship's, like, unbalanced and wobbling and shit because this crane is, like, moving back and forth. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, no, that sequence was great.
Yeah.
But then they find out that, oh, hey, somebody else was infected by a facehugger. And guess what? The xenomorph is on the Covenant now. And keeps killing the crew because it kills the husband and wife that are showering together and hopping on the good foot and doing the bad thing.
What?
So then they've got to lure this creature into the terraforming bay and get it in like one of the vehicles, trap it, and then shoot it into space.
We were doing good, guys, until that.
Yeah. And then as Daniels, which I'll just... forgettable lead. Very forgettable female lead. I'm
very forgettable.
Not just generic.
Yeah.
Didn't really bring that Ripley-ness to the table.
Yeah, I agree.
As she's going to sleep, it turns out that David killed Walter and took his place. So now David, in the embryo storage area, he's spitting up little things with face huggers on them.
Yeah. Just like regurgitating eggs out of his throat.
Okay, so one major thing that I love about this movie that I did not mention, because there is one thing I love about this movie. It is just a beautiful looking movie. Yeah. It looks great. Yeah. That is it. This movie is fucking awful. I've given this movie way more chances than what it has any right to have been given. I remember when me and Karen went and saw it in theaters. After we were done, I ran into Dallas and a couple of his buddies because they were in the theater watching it too. We just oh hey, what are you doing here? They're like, hey, what'd you think of the movie? And I was like, this movie was dog shit. Ever since day one, I've hated it. The idea of David creating the xenomorphs killed this goddamn movie, and it already had like a very high bar to cross, considering that. Well, now my train of thought just derailed. Oh, it had a high bar to get over, considering the whole not wearing actual safety equipment on the planet.
Yeah.
Already raised, because I was like, this is dumb. I'm worried we're just going to get dumber. And sure enough, it did. Yeah, I can definitely tell you I will never watch this movie again because I have given it way too many chances. And I'm pissed off every single time I watch this movie.
So there's two things that I was a little irked about, specifically with David. Well, specifically with the androids as well, but also one thing with David. So there's a scene towards the end or whatever where Daniels is fighting David, and she stabs him in the fucking chin right here with her little metal nail that she has, right?
Yeah.
And it's just dangling there. Okay, so anybody that's ever watched any kind of movies, I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's Chekhov's gun situation, right? Like, you know that's going to be brought up like here in a little bit. That's going to be relevant because there's no reason that they couldn't have just pulled that out. Like, usually a character, if it wasn't going to be relevant, was just going to yank that shit out and it's going to be done. But it dangled there for a while. The whole necklace was just dangling out of his fucking chin. And I don't know if it was just to differentiate him and Walter, but Walter was missing a hand and also wearing entirely different clothes. So it's not like we had any confusion between the two at this point.
Yeah.
So
the hairstyles were very different too.
Yeah, even after he had cut it. David's was all messed up and shit, and Walter's was very combed and neat and stuff. Well, when they got back on the ship or whatever, and it was definitely not really going to be too big of a reveal that David was Walter. Like, I kind of guessed that from the beginning of him getting back on the ship. But
oh yeah.
I was waiting for the moment he would, like, look up or something, and you'd see a hole on his chin, and that was how Daniels realized that this was David and not Walter. Like, he went through the trouble of cutting his hand off and shit, yeah, but, like, that little hole on his chin, like, he would have thought to fill that up in a matter of, like, seconds while they were running to get on that ship. I sure as fuck wouldn't have. Yeah. But that never got brought back up at all. So I was like, man, that would have been a fucking cool ass reveal to just, like, he's looking up while she's patching his face up or whatever, and they're having that heart to heart, and he just slightly looks up and you can see the hole on his chin. That would have been fucking awesome, but it doesn't show that. Second thing is, Walter completely cut off the whole alphabet thing they were going with for the androids, by the way. I don't know if that was something that they were intending on doing or what, but they had Ash in the first one. Then they had Bishop. Then they had Call, yeah. And then they had David. And then Walter. What the fuck, man? E is next. E is next, not W. What the hell?
Yeah.
Ethan. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it was a minor thing, but still, like, we had a good thing going, all right? And I am a fucking sucker for little details like that, and they're just like, nah, name him Walter. For why? Why did we do that?
Okay, so my last talking point about this horrible movie. There is another reason that I absolutely despise this movie. Back before this movie came out, it was announced that Neil Blomkamp of, like, District 9, Elysium, and Chappie was going to be doing an Alien 5. So Ridley Scott is doing the Prometheus stuff, which takes place different time within this whole franchise. Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5 was going to be a direct follow-up to Aliens, and retcon Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and they put out concept art. You know what? Hicks was still alive. Acid burnt face. Looked awesome. Seen the pulse rifles. Like, I was seriously excited for this. And I was like, oh man, Ridley Scott's doing Prometheus 2 right now. And then Neil Blomkamp's got Alien 5. It's going to be a 1-2 punch. And then Ridley Scott got his way, and Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5 was just trashed. And then Prometheus 2 became Alien Covenant. So, once again, fuck this movie.
Yeah, that's lame. Because I love District 9, dude. District 9 is so good.
Yeah. Like, dude.
So good.
I hate this movie. Okay. Alright. So, we still have one movie that we can briefly discuss. Because it's not out yet. It comes out August 16th, 2024.
Romulus?
This movie is called Alien Romulus.
Romulus.
Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say, it is not directed by Ridley Scott, so that gives me hope. It is directed by Fede Alvarez, who did, I don't know, Don't Breathe, Evil Dead, 2013, I should say. But this movie, I was very cautious when it came out. I was like, don't get too excited, because you were pumped for Covenant. And what did Covenant do to you? Nothing good. After 2 days of like, I had an REO Speedwagon moment. I couldn't fight the feeling anymore. I'm so excited for this frickin' movie.
Yeah.
And knowing some of the other things that have leaked, which I'm not going to say, has me even more excited for this movie. Especially with its tie-in of the original Alien. That's all the more I'm going to say.
Interesting.
It has Kaylee Spaney. Might be mispronouncing that name horribly, but she was in Pacific Rim Uprising, which a lot of you were like, why are we talking about Pacific Rim 2? It was awful. Shut up. My son loves that movie, so I've seen it more than what I've cared to. Yeah, so a new Alien movie is on the horizon. I'm beyond excited for it. That's all the more I really have to say about it, because I don't want to be.
Oh, damn it, you're freezing up.
So, it looks like your screen is frozen.
Yep, you were frozen for a minute too. Okay, there you are. I don't know what is going on today, but our internet must be shitting out, or your internet's shitting out. Somebody's internet shitting out. I don't know what's going on, but
somebody's internet sucks ass.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but
okay. What's your number 6?
Come on now. Resurrection is my number 6. By a landslide.
Resurrection is my number 6. Yeah.
Like, say what you
Number
want
5?
about Covenant, but I think that Resurrection is way worse.
No, just from the the cinematography of Covenant, that's enough to put it over Resurrection.
Yeah.
So that's the only plus I have. That movie looks fantastic, but everything else about it is awful.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, I put in my
Number
notes.
5.
I put in my notes, by the way, for Resurrection. I completely forgot to talk about it. I must have been like on the verge of falling asleep or like dying to stay awake or something like that. But I wrote in here, I want to go swimming in the xenomorph hot tub. The big fucking pool of really crystal clear water that looks so inviting, surrounded by the fucking xenomorph eggs and shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, that'd be kind of cool as a hot tub. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I'm gonna go ahead.
It just looks fun. I don't know, but trash movie, but still, fuck it. I want to go swimming in the xenomorph hot tub. All right.
I was gonna say I got a lot of time coming up here soon, so yeah, maybe that's a home improvement project I can start working on.
Hell yeah, dude! I'll be visiting Iowa here a little bit because hell yeah. But anyway, number 5, I put Alien 3 actually.
Alien Covenant, and that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
Yeah, I kind of figured. My number 4 is Alien Covenant, but
Alien 3.
I'm going to be honest, though. Alien Covenant, I think, was bouncing back and forth between Alien 1. Just because, like I said, it was just such a slow burn for me. But I liked both of them, obviously, for completely different reasons. But I don't know. Covenant, I think, is a pretty good 4 for me. And then, of course, my 3 would be Alien. But
my 3 is Prometheus.
Okay. My 3 is Alien.
Okay. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Aliens. My number 1 is Prometheus. I love Prometheus. I remember when I seen it in theaters. When I seen it in theaters, I loved it then, and I had no fucking attachment to the Alien franchise. So there's probably like a bias there, more than likely. Rewatching it again this time, I also loved it just as much. And I love David, dude. I fucking love David so much. At least in Prometheus, he was kind of a fucking cocksleeve in Covenant, but
yeah.
But in Prometheus, dude, David's awesome. I love him.
But my 2 is Alien, and then number 1, Aliens, without question. And more than likely the same reason that you have for Prometheus. I know this was the first Alien movie I saw.
Yeah.
And it is the best, will always be the best. I at best Romulus will place 3 when it comes out. It ain't. If Romulus is better than the original Alien and is knocking on the door of Aliens, oh my god. Like, that's going to be amazing, but yeah. I'm also not ridiculous, and that just ain't going to happen.
I mean, hey, we can always hope for the best. Who knows? Yeah. But it would also still be cool to have a number 3 spot, you know what I mean? To still be that good is still awesome. But yeah. I mean, hell, if it can beat one of the two, even better. You know what I mean? But
yeah. I don't see it happening, but if it does, awesome. Everybody wins in that scenario in my mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm actually looking more forward to it now that I've gone through and watched all of them. But yeah, should be fun. Should be a fun time. Hopefully it's a fun time. But
better be.
Time will tell, I guess. Time will tell.
I think that does it.
That'll do
Alien franchise. We got them ranked. Yep. We talked about all of them. If you take anything from this video, just do not watch Alien Resurrection or Alien Covenant, and you're going to be just A-okay. We watched them, so you didn't have to, I guess.
Yep. Which we also did for the Resurrection. Oh my god. The Resident Evil. The Resident Evil franchise, which I did mention earlier in this video. Go watch that as well if you haven't seen it. Where we have a special guest, Toby, who has been a recurring character on this podcast a few times. But, yeah. Go check that out. Thank you all for watching this video. Thank you all for coming. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Let us know down in the comments what your ranking of the Alien movies are. We want to know. We want to hear it. We want to see what you got to say about the Alien movies. Unless it's anything good about Resurrection, then please don't comment.
Actually, wait, no. I want this. I want this. Change my mind. Make me like Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
And even better if you can do it with Covenant. I want a legitimate, good debate about this because those two movies are fucking ass.
If there is a solid debate to be had about Alien Resurrection being good, honestly, you're right. I think that would be impressive. So let me fucking know.
Yeah. I want somebody to tell you're wrong about Alien Covenant. And it's like, let's Let's get it on.
Hell yeah. We want to see it. Let us know down in the comments below. As always, we will see you guys next week when we discuss our top 10 albums of 2005.
Easily the hardest year
that
I've done.
By a landslide. Actually, Derek, I know we didn't talk about this, but if you ended up having time before the week is done, we might be able to put both of them out this week.
Yeah.
Because we missed one. We missed one last week, so and that was my bad. I completely lost track of time. I was all over the place last week. But if we've got some time to record that one this week as well, we can probably throw that in also, and just get 2 of them this week. Fuck it.
Double dose.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys in the next one whenever that one is uploaded. Probably shortly after this one. And yeah. Thanks for coming. We'll see you later. Bye.
Have a good one.